Co-op. Couch Co-op. Couch Co-op.
Hello, couch co-opers, couch potatoes, and couch codependents. This is your very festive and Christmas edition of the Couch Co-op Show. It's also our Game of the Year episode, and with me is Jarrod. It's a Founders episode.
It is. It's just us.
Just us. As we teased during the last episode, we promised that we would do a proper Games of the Year 2023 episode, and it just so happens that it's Christmas time, and this will, well, if you're watching us live right now on twitch.tv/the Couch Co-op Show, you're getting it early because that's the only way you can get it early. But this episode will release on Christmas Eve, so Merry Christmas Eve, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, all that stuff. Exciting, right? Holidays, don't you love it?
I like holidays. I have a couple of little ones, and keeping them all excited and ready for all that. It's fun. I mean, even without them, I enjoyed Christmas. It's just a nice time of the year, family and all that stuff.
We're going to list off all the games, Jarrod, from this year that all the rest of the guys in the Couch Co-op are probably going to get as gifts.
Yeah, you think so?
I don't know. Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah. Who
Over,
knows?
under, over. Who knows? But
Yeah.
Jarrod and I are generally the only ones who play not a majority, but a good. There's too many games to play a
Yeah.
majority of them nowadays.
Still too many old games to catch up on. I
Sometimes
beat
it's,
a lot of old games this year.
yeah, sometimes it's amazing that we even get to so many games from this year.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes, but
Oh yeah.
it
No
was a
doubt.
stacked year. It was a very stacked year. So
Yeah.
we broke this up into three categories. We're gonna start off with an honorable mentions list. We're doing top three lists. So basically a top 9 games, but that's not really how it works. So a top 3 honorable mentions, top 3 great games of 2023, and then our top 3 games of the year. I felt this was like kind of a good kind of breakup of, kind of what's going on. And, I didn't get to play all of the awesome games of the year, but I played a lot of, other things, and so did Jarrod. So I felt like, well, this is kind of a cool way to kind of break it up, I thought. So did you have any issues coming up with your list, Jarrod?
No, not really. I mean, I played quite a few games from this year. I only beat 9 or 10 of them, so that worked out pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah, so it wasn't too difficult to come up with what ones would go on what list. How about you?
I tried to be, it was a pretty simple, straightforward. My honorable mention list is interesting. I wanted to these are probably games that would probably not be on if I did like a top 10 games of the year, they probably wouldn't be on that list, but they're definitely games I wanted to shout out this year because I thought they were special, or there was a different reason why it's not on my list. So
Yeah,
anyway.
of course.
So yeah, we just get to it, I suppose. What's your first number? What's the number 3 of your honorable mentions list?
Honorable mentions? Destiny 2 Lightfall.
All right.
I mean, it was fine. I had a lot of fun with it because I got to play a little bit of co-op. So I mean, of course, that's what makes that game special. But I like to continue on the story of Destiny 2. I mean, it seems like it may have been a shortfall for the company, but I mean, it doesn't make it any less fun. A lot of people didn't like Neptune with the surfer dude with the giant crotch and all that stuff, but that you're not staring at that the whole time. So don't be scared of
Lightfall's the one with all the neon, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, the city's fine. It has a lot of neat stuff, and the story continues. And that's what I'm interested in. I like Destiny's ongoing story, and that's more of it.
I feel like they had a bit of a rough year this year, Destiny or Bungie.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh well.
yeah. That could be interesting in the next couple of years, or
I,
this year even.
I am excited
20.
though. I mean, on Epic Games they gave away Destiny the one with the 3 DLCs, so like I could play those DLCs I never played. So I'm kind of curious to get back into it, but we'll see. We'll
Yeah, I
see.
might play it again on PC because I didn't really know, but you if you buy it the expansions on PlayStation, you don't unlock it on anything else. It's not like a lot of big games and whatever,
Right.
like it unlocks it everywhere. It's on individual platforms. So now I have that DLC on PC platform, but I still have my characters. That's what confused me. I jumped into Destiny 2 on my PC. I'm like, oh, hey, it's my character, cool, but I can't play any of the stuff I have. Couldn't join my brother in any of the stuff on my PC, and
Right.
I'm like, "Oh, damn it."
Right.
And then I didn't touch it afterwards.
Cool. All right. Well, Destiny 2, Lightfall. My number 3 is so I'm my honorable mention, and this would probably also be on my. We kind of were talking about doing games we wish we're getting to. This is probably a double dipper. Uh, Diablo 4. I put 20 hours into the beta, and I feel like 20 hours is a lot of game time. And like some of these
Mhm.
games I beat in like less than 10, 20 hours,
Yeah, no doubt.
So I wanted to give it an honorable mention, and the only reason I feel like I didn't buy it is because I put so much time into it, and then they wiped my character. I feel like I probably might have purchased it if I got to carry that all over. Like I would have been more, but I really enjoyed my time with it. Had a lot of fun, just waiting for it to go down in price. So hopefully it'll be a game I get reacquainted with in the coming year. But yeah, that's my number 3.
Okay, nice.
And
Yeah, I really wanna play Diablo 4. That's on a separate list I kinda made, where I want to play certain games, and Diablo 4 is probably at the top of my list of games that came out. Well, there's a couple of yeah, there's several games I'd love to play, but, D4 has been one of mine.
all right, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Super Mario Wonder.
Oh, okay.
Honorable mention. I played a little bit of it even today, and, it's a Mario game, and I don't know if I'd think different on it if I was playing with, like, my older daughter, but playing with a four-year-old makes the game a little rough since, she can take control of the camera and decisions and stuff like that. It makes it a little rocky of a experience. So, uh I don't know. We still get through levels and things like that, but I think maybe I should just try some of it solo so I can progress, and then we can pick and choose levels that are just like 1 stars and things like that. Difficulty level
But why would
to
you
have a
say
little more fun.
you haven't finished it?
Why haven't I
Yeah,
finished it?
why have you been compelled to finish it?
Well, I don't know. Just playing co-op in a Mario game has always been kind of challenging in its own way. This one took out some of the challenges, but added new challenges to the co-op experience. And I don't know, those take a lot of it out of it. Like if you have to go up a certain area, you have to keep jumping up, and somehow the second player takes control of the camera and can't progress, you're just kind of stuck and can't do anything.
Okay.
Luckily, they took away timers and stuff like that. That's one of the huge
Isn't it in
wins.
some of the levels though?
Yeah, I mean, Mario, they always do something that has timing stuff,
Mm.
but I think they're more like bonus levels that you can kind of skip. But there's always like you hit the button and there's coins that disappear after a certain amount of time, or oh, you better get the wonder thing before it disappears, the stuff like that. But the levels are pretty short overall, so it's not terrible just to like finish the level, go back through real quick and try and get all the stuff. But I I like to do completionist kind of runs. Like, oh, I see the thing over there. How do I get it? But when you're playing co-op, you can't do that, and it's hard for me to get past that aspect of my old school gamer
Right.
attitude.
Right.
So I'm like, hey, wait, 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 and she just keeps going, and I'm just like, oh, just drags me down, and I just need to get over that. I'm sure it's a fine game. If I wasn't just an old man.
There you go. All right, Mario Wonder. My number two honorable mention is a game that four of us, funny enough, played this year. Uh, I'm shouting out my first mobile game. I think on this
Oh,
list, I'm gonna do Monster Hunter now.
I
Uh,
almost put that on this list. Yeah.
I'm still playing it. I still having a good time with it. I don't really feel compelled to finish it, or I just kind of like get up in the morning and like I'll sit on the couch with my tea and I'll like play it, and then I'll like go to bed and I'll play it. I don't really like go walking around trying to find stuff. I just wait for it to come to me. So it's obviously
Yeah.
taking me even longer to do stuff, but I kind of
Mm.
enjoy it. I don't know. It's just mind-numbingly stupid, and but I think it's well made. Uh, Also, I don't. We never really talked about this, but did you do any of the AR stuff
Um,
where like the monster's like in front of you?
no, no. I mean, because you can use the gyroscopes and stuff in
Yeah,
your
yeah.
phone and like aim stuff,
But
but
you can go
no, I didn't do the
outside,
AR.
Jared, and then do AR, and it'll like put the monster in front of you, like in the
I don't
world.
think my phone was able to
Oh,
do that.
well, mine
Yeah.
does it, and it's fucking a trip.
Yeah. There were certain segments where like if you're mining, like it mines just landmarks.
Uh-huh.
So you go and you like there's this gem and you look up and it's like the park I'm at, it's sign or whatever, a business sign or something like that.
Right.
So I mean it's like you're there, you're in the world or whatever. So it's kind of cool that way, but yeah, as I said, the AR thing doesn't work on my old phone.
Well,
So
it was just funny because the other night when John was, because they had a commercial during the Game Awards or something, and he's like, "Is that how the game is?" And we are like, "Nah, that's not how it is." But then I noticed that there was an AR mode on my phone, and so when I went to it, it's like I put the monster like in my front yard, and it was just like, "This is fucking crazy." So
yeah, that's
it is
cool.
kind of like it, in a
Yeah.
sense. Anyway, I thought it was funny.
Yeah, of course.
But so anyway, I think it's a pretty cool game. I like it. I like it well. I mean, I still play it. I haven't deleted it. Uh, I like the
Well, I
grind.
thought
So
I'll probably end up going back to it after a couple months, after they add some stuff, maybe some new monsters. I think they recently added my go-to weapon in from Monster Hunter World, the Lance.
mm-hmm.
So it'd be interesting to see how that plays in Monster Hunter now.
Yeah, they got it's all kinds of got interesting things, and I'm sure they'll keep adding to it. It's just it's I've never really gave a shit about a mobile game, and anyway, this one fun.
Yeah, I mean
Monster Hunter now.
it's fun to dodge and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. All right. Number one honorable mention.
Starfield.
Star. Oh wow! Didn't even make your okay. Wow.
Well, I haven't completed it,
Okay. Well,
and and some of that has to do with some bugs and stuff like that, where I'm like wandering around a world trying to look for certain things. Your map is supposed to do certain things or guide you in a certain way, but there's some of the powers that you're supposed to be able to acquire where the planet just doesn't really work. So I just kind of fell off because I don't like aimlessly wandering and be mainly because the traversal in the maps when you're exploring those more empty planets and stuff like that is super lame. Which they've commented that they're working on adding new vehicles and modes of transportation and things like that. So I'm excited to continue the game because the story is intriguing and interesting, and I like where it's going. Like I've told you that I completed like a major side quest thing, and I had a great time doing that. And then I just kind of put the game down. Like
Right.
that would have been a game in itself, like a story, like a quick, it was like a 5-hour side quest or something like that, and that was pretty great. I had a good time, and I'm looking forward to going back in. um, I mean, like the main villains of the game aren't really showing themselves. They just like hit and attack, and they don't really come at you. And there there's nothing personable about it. That's some of the great games is you get to know and meet the villains and understand them and things like that. But so far, at least where I'm at in the game, there's no personality,
Okay. Yeah.
so that's kind of my downfall on that right now too. But I want to get back to it. It's still on my PC. It's still on my Xbox, so I can play it on either whenever I want to. So I'm just kind of hanging on, waiting, and maybe soon I'll have some time to go back into it. They've patched it a couple times since I jumped in last, so maybe we'll see. I will definitely finish it someday.
I too am waiting to play that game.
Mods, yeah, you're waiting for different reasons,
I'm
and for
waiting.
it to go on sale,
I'm waiting for it to go
and
on
then
sale, but I'm more. I mean, I'll buy it whenever. I just I'm waiting for all the fun stuff. So like, I make the game fun. So like, I won't have these issues that you speak of ever. Anyway, no, cool. Starfield. All right. And my number one is Fortnite. Uh,
Fortnite.
Fortnite. Obviously, Fortnite added a bunch of new stuff this year. I still haven't
I haven't
played.
tried it yet.
I haven't tried the Lego stuff, but I tried the Rocket League stuff, and I tried the music thing, and then just Fortnite itself. You know, I think it's a lot of fun, man. I think it's
It,
cool.
it got me to reinstall it.
Oh, that's cool. The
It's
music,
installed. I just need to try it.
you know, the Rocket League racing is fun. It's just like kind of a kart racing. Well, it's kind of a platforming kart racer as opposed to a battling kart racer,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool. It's kind of different and fun. Handles really well. And then the music thing is, you know, right now it's basically just on controller, but supposedly, you know, one day I'll be able to plug my Guitar Hero guitar into the PlayStation and they'll have it updated so I can actually use the guitar, and then I won't need Rock Band or any of these games anymore because it'll just exist forever on Fortnite,
Yeah.
which is
Fortnite is forever.
which
I
is
think that's
crazy.
one of Ewan.
Yeah, Fortnite is forever.
Yeah, and Chase's sayings.
But then just Fortnite the game, they kind of revamped the menus, you know, in preparation for all this rollout of these new games. And, you know, I mean, just today I got my first win in the holiday season, you know, killing some killing
Congratulations.
some toddlers, slaying them. But no, you know, I would never put Fortnite really on a game of the year list, but I think it deserves an honorable mention for all the stuff that it's doing and how well I think it's doing. Because there's like no bugs or any of, you know, it just works. It's like just obviously that Fortnite money, they have the money to pay for that, but it's just like it's kind of cool to see how well implemented it is, and yeah, I think it's pretty cool. So
Yeah.
Fortnite. All right, now we're going to mosey on to great games of our top 3 great games of 2023. Games that we played of 2023 that wouldn't make our game of the year list, but are really awesome. Actually, might have almost made the top 3 list, but just missed out. Uh, I also put some of the games on mine I didn't beat, so that's why they're also on this list. So,
There's one on here I didn't beat. Yeah.
um,
But it's a game I'm still playing.
all right. Well, let's kick it off, Jared. What's your number 3 great game of 2023?
My number 3, I have Gran Turismo 7 in PSVR 2 specifically.
Oh, awesome.
Um, because it's really awesome to play a racing game in VR anyways, but this is on PlayStation VR 2, and it just looks fantastic. The sound that comes out of those headphones is amazing. Just sitting in the cockpit, I hold my controller like the steering wheel, you know, and I steer with the controller with, you know, gyroscopic controls, and it works flawlessly. If like I don't know if I'd be able to do that without the VR. I've still never played the game outside of VR. I don't know if I want to,
Mm-hmm.
because it's such a cool experience. I love being able to know where the corner begins and ends before I get there, just by turning my head. You know, it's stupid to say something like that in a racing game. Yeah, you can use the right stick, but it's always awkward, a little too fast, and hard to control. But you can just naturally drive and feel good about it,
Right.
and you can't beat that. It's so good.
Cool. Very awesome. Good choice. I don't even.
Yeah. How about you?
Someday I'll try the VR. Maybe I'll get a
Dude,
headset.
just come over. Just come over.
Maybe someday. Maybe someday.
Yeah, just come over.
All right, my number 3 great game of 2023 is so it launched this year. Not very well. It's by Airship Syndicate, and then the online portion of it is by Digital Extremes, the guys that do Warframe. So it's a game called Wayfinder. It's an MMO. It's like a little MMO. It's like a cute, fun action MMO. And it launched not very good because the server side kind of failed the game. But they fixed that, and the game's running really well now.
It looks great.
It looks great. It looks kind of like Darksiders or that art style of that team. You know, that's that Joe Mad, the artist, comic book artist that became a video game designer. It's his art style. And it's just kind of a classic MMO, you know? And I paid the $20 to do early access, but it goes free to play in February. So I've been playing it, but I'm kind of just waiting, hopefully that like maybe you or someone else will jump on in the free to play when it goes free to play, and then we can group up and, you know, I just think it'd be more fun than just playing it solo, which I still have fun with it solo because I think it's a really tight game actually, but I don't want to go too far into it. I played like 6-7 hours of it, and I just think it'd be a fun to bomb around and do quests. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's my game number 3. Ba-ding! All right, number 2, Jarrod.
So I have another Game Pass game on here, Planet of Lana. I thought was really, really fun. I like that style of game though.
I don't even know I'm not sure I know what this one is.
It's in the same vein as like Limbo, you know, that style side scroll puzzle kind of, you know, that kind of game that's environmental storytelling,
right,
kind of thing. And it's more like your village is attacked by alien beings essentially, and your best friend is carried off, so you're on a mission to look for your friend, and all sorts of wild things happen, and the puzzles are really interesting. I liked how they did a lot of that. So that style of game is a lot of fun. I've played quite a few of those.
Cool.
I don't even know what you'd call it, just like platform puzzle game
platform,
yeah.
And that's on Game Pass?
And that's right about where the quality of these games should be. I think its graphics are really cool. They show a lot of depth. You know, there's stuff happening in the background as you're going through the levels, and it's really cool to look at. And the sound effects are done really well. I like the character designs. A lot of positive things to say about it. So definitely worth a shot.
All right, cool.
Planet of Lana.
All right, my number 2. I just, well, I played the beta, so I knew I was going to play it, but I didn't buy it till way later, and I bought it like a couple weeks ago, or maybe a week ago, but I put a bunch of time into it. I haven't quite beat it yet, but The Crew Motorfest, I've always been a big fan of the Crew games, and I think this one is the best one so far. It is just a lot of fun. It's also one of the first times this has ever happened, is that all the cars I had from the Crew 2, it let me import into the Crew Motorfest. So I start the game with a bunch of cars. But the thing about this game is that it doesn't really care about that. You can drive around and do like world events in your cars and stuff, but every like actual level or race that you partake in, it just gives you the car to race in. You don't need So you don't have to worry about leveling it up, or you just are always so there's other
just jump in and play.
Yeah, you just jump in and play, which is super cool. But then if you're just in the open world doing events, you can pick whatever car you want and do whatever you want, and it's pretty cool. I like it. I like it quite a bit. I mean, I think it's better. I've always thought of the Crew series. Well, not so much the first one, but the second one for sure, and then this one for sure, is better than Forza Horizon in my opinion. It's not as, while the game is crazy, it's not like a crazy, like Forza Horizon is just like, it's the way the game is presented to you is just too much for me sometimes. Like it's
the
just
party.
Like,
you're not a fan of the party.
That and it's just like it's like Las Vegas. It's just like because the Crew is like a Motorfest. It is like the same kind of thing. It's like a party.
Yeah.
But it's not like, you know, there's all these like slot machine games happening and you're trying to win stuff, and I don't know. It's just like stupid. But
I did play the beta of it on my PC. I got a beta code and I tried it on my PC.
Did it run?
Remember, and it
Oh, it did. It
barely ran. I
barely
was going
ran.
at like 10, 15 frames a second, something like that. It was impossible to play. So my PC is not built for a racing game of that caliber.
I think it's funny because it's set on Hawaii, which is like a great kind of place. But then they like do all this like different like styles of racing. So like there's like this one like they call them playlists, and so like this one is a Japanese import playlist. But then they build these racetracks as if you're like in like neon Tokyo, but it's on Hawaii. So, I don't know. It's really cool, and like I think all the track
That's cool.
design is really cool. The way it's kind of designed, and like instead of having giant sign, I mean they do have giant signs, but like some like markers for race, like certain types of races will have these giant balloons. Like there'll
Huh.
be like a giant balloon of a Porsche or something. It's just kind of creative and
Oh,
different,
interesting.
and
Yeah.
I think the races are really creative. And then they have different, like Hoonigan, like the drifting stuff. They have all kinds of different stuff, and it's a lot of fun. And I've been really enjoying it. So that's the Crew Motorfest. That's my number 2.
Cool. I'll look for a
Yes.
sale someday.
Uh, well, that's the other thing. I bought the most expensive version
Yeah.
for like $50. So like
Oh, huh.
that it was on sale, but I got
Yeah, big
the
time.
year, I got the pass and all that
Season
garbage stuff,
pass.
season
Yeah.
pass stuff. But I
Stuff that
spent,
came with it.
so
Yeah.
it's like every month I get like new cars, and
That's cool.
it's cool.
Yeah, why not? I mean, yeah, I mean, you're like definitely one of the biggest racing game fans I know.
Yeah,
So I could see
it's fun.
you really enjoying that kind of a pass.
All right. What's your number 1?
Well, I just finished this. I thought it was a really great game. It was Jason on Xbox Game Pass. I think you can buy it on whatever system, PlayStation or Xbox. I don't know exactly, but it's on Game Pass right now. And it's essentially the game that I thought indifferent about because everybody like it's funny, all the media people always bitch about climbing in games, like, oh, I have to do this again, I have to climb that wall. And then Legend of Zelda comes out, it does it slower and more annoying than ever. And they're like, oh,
That's what I
and
mean,
then
Jared.
Jusant comes out, it's like, oh, this game is only climbing. And they did it in a way that's really intriguing, and they added different elements to the climbing, like adding moving kind of critters that act as platforms and activating other things that grow that kind of pull you up and climb on those. And
So you're a
it's really,
character climbing.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, so you're not like first person climbing.
No,
See, so for some
no.
reason in my head, I was thinking it was like similar to like that Horizon VR game. And
Oh yeah, definitely nothing like that.
okay,
You're actually controlling a character in a 3D world. It's
okay,
and like wherever you decide to climb, it puts a belay in the wall, and if you fall, you just fall down to that. But you can also place a carabiner in the wall wherever you want, and the
oh, so
restriction
actual
of
actual climbing,
not like real.
but like,
I mean, it's still
but
like you can, yeah, you're not getting hurt and damaged if you hit a wall or something like that. It's very friendly, easy to do game. I mean, you do have to use the triggers, R2, L2, or RB, or LB, alternate that. So you got to get that down pretty good, which isn't a problem for most people. But uh, I would definitely recommend at least trying it. I don't really have a game to compare it to. Um, I just kind of imagine like if Shadow of the Colossus had been more climbing, like it with those monsters, it's like scaling them, I could see this being part of that world. That'd be pretty awesome.
gotcha. Yeah, I mean, feel like a lot of the people I listen to have like talked pretty positively about that game, except that maybe it goes on for a little too long. But I don't know.
I beat it in like 4 hours.
Oh, really?
4 or
Never.
5 hours,
Oh
yeah.
well, never mind. Maybe I'm thinking of something
I
else
mean,
then.
I wasn't looking for everything. I
Oh,
mean, I could have spent more time in the game. I scaled the mountain. Took some side paths to explore, and I read a lot of the letters because there's notes left from the people that were living where you're climbing. And the story and the lore and all that stuff's really interesting about that because there used to be like a lot of water and there's not. And
interesting.
you hear stories about what it was like as the water was receding. The word "jusson" is actually like the receding tide,
Gotcha.
and they say that at the beginning of the game. So you kind of have an understanding going in there, like, huh, what does that mean? And then you start reading these letters, and you're like, oh, okay, oh, that's interesting. So it's got a story in there too, and it's worth hunting down. I read a lot of that.
All right. Cool. That's your number one great game of
Yeah,
2023, and mine is probably on some people's game of the year lists. Just didn't make mine this year. Um, but it is a great. It is a great game, and that is Street Fighter 6. Uh, don't usually buy Street Fighter games, Jared, especially not at
yeah.
launch. If I ever buy them, they're like 10, $5, $10, or they get them for free. But I was compelled by the beta again. These beta demo
Yeah.
things and the open
Demos are
world,
good, companies. Demos,
yeah,
please.
and the open world fighting little, you know, whatever open world fighting game that they had implemented into it. I was really compelled by, and so I picked it up and I played it, and I think it's great. I had a lot of fun with it, creating your own character and like not just like taking a character's fighting style, but mixing and matching fighting styles and special moves, and then going around and fighting other characters and trying to figure out how to like defeat them, and being able to like get power boosts if you get stuck on a guy that's higher level than you, and just like keep I don't know. It just has an ability to like just if you're not good at fighting games, it does a really good job of just allowing you to like spam uh, power ups to like help you defeat a boss or something, And I think it's just and then the open world, and it's kind of has
So
little
a
secret
well-crafted
areas.
RPG.
Yeah, for the most part, in a sense, pretty much. My only real complaint is the costumes or like the clothing that you would purchase. It's just I know that I'm the pervy gamer or whatever, but like I just feel like some of the costumes, like you look at the characters that they create, and they're like whatever. It's like why is none of that kind of gear in the game to purchase? It's like just this really not great cosmetic attire, but that's a very small, minute, unimportant thing. But
Yeah.
really enjoyed the game. I had a lot of fun. Has a lot of different modes. Has the basic arcade mode, obviously. I played a bunch of. I didn't do a lot of the online stuff, but I did go into the online world, and that's kind of cool because you sit in this giant kind of online lobby area where everyone else
Mhm.
is just kind of walking around, and you sit down at a arcade and you fight, or you can just go over to the. There's other arcades where they just have like old school Capcom single player games. It's kind of
Oh,
funny,
cool.
uh,
Yeah.
but
Didn't they have like Final Fight or something?
Final Fight. They
Yeah.
have they have a few different things, but
Were
yeah,
they like
it's
the complete games?
yeah, I think so.
Wow.
I mean,
That's
I
cool.
didn't. I played a couple of them. I didn't get very far,
Yeah.
so I don't know if I would imagine they
Okay.
are though.
That'd be cool. Yeah. Okay.
But
That's neat.
it's a really cool game. I'd imagine on some people's lists it would be up there in the top 3 for sure. But that's my number one great game of 2023.
Yeah, it's been getting a lot of goodwill this year.
All right, well now it's everyone. It's time for the main event. Ding 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 ding. Um, our 2023 Game of the Year games. Our top 3 list. It was quite the year for games. I don't even know what to say. So we'll just get to it then.
Yeah. Why not?
What's your number 3, Jared?
Cocoon.
Cocoon, the puzzle game.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been playing a lot of different puzzle games and stuff like that this last year, and Cocoon is definitely the top of the list there. not just the aesthetics of the world that were created, but like just the puzzles of uh, being inside a world and going outside of it and being able to carry the other worlds around as you scale back. It's really, really cool and inventive how it all works. Different colored orb is a different essential, like a world you can jump into, and you can jump out of it and carry it around as a puzzle piece, that works in different puzzles and opens certain doors and things like that. And each color does a different thing. So it was a very short and sweet game. It's another short game that made the top of my 2023 list. And I hope you try it someday, Ian. I think you might even really like the art style in there. It's really interesting. Like, I mean, some of the worlds get kind of weird the deeper down you get, because it's like you're like a bug. They're really small. So there's that kind of stuff in the environment in a couple of them. So
isn't
it's
oh,
really unique title.
isn't Cocoon? I mean, you mentioned Limbo. Isn't that from the team that did Limbo and Inside? Isn't Cocoon from them?
Yeah, I think one of or some of the main team members did the game. It's not from that team, but I think people that have been with or founding members or something like that. I don't know exactly, but yeah, they're involved in some fashion.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, if I ever activate this Game Pass card, I'll check it out.
Yeah, yeah. You got what? Planet of Lana, just Cocoon,
All these game.
Starfield, all these Game Pass games I played this year. That's where it's been hard for me to just decide to go and drop $70 on a new
Right,
game.
right.
That it's really changing the industry, and I feel it is gonna really change it in the future. No, I don't know if for good, since I think the last tally of game developers that lost their jobs this year is about 9,000.
Yeah, it's pretty
So
gnarly.
it's hard. It's really brutal industry. It sounds like, unless you're in the right place. But even then, uh, I hope this isn't like a direct response to like Game Pass and people spending less money and subscribing and things like that. Like that's harsh.
I think it is partly. I mean, obviously Microsoft is giving them like a deal, but how good that deal is
Yeah.
probably
Is it
not that
enough to
great.
keep people on?
I
Keep the
mean,
lights on?
I imagine Starfield would have made a lot of money if it hadn't
Yeah.
been on Game Pass. Even though Game Pass is, newer members signing up went up for Game Pass,
Yeah.
I imagine the amount of money that game would have sold on its own would dwarf that amount of money that whoever signed up, or whatever that
Yeah.
was. I just, so you kind of feel bad for. I mean, you kind of feel bad for Starfield, but
Yeah.
uh, and Starfield isn't even one of the companies that's, they have money and they're owned by Microsoft, so they can kind of support their staff. But like these other
Yeah.
smaller
Hopefully they'll
studios,
be okay. Yeah.
the smaller studios, they can't. Anyway, that's not
All
the
right. How
topic
about your
of the
number
episode.
three,
My number
Ian?
3 is a game that we got way early on in the year. It actually, Sony gave it to us for free, and I fucking fell in love with it. And it's a little game called Meet Your Maker.
Oh yeah,
And
you played a lot of that. I played a little bit.
I fucking just really got into this game. And you basically build your base, and then you booby trap it, and then you put it out onto the server, and then the way you create revenue is by having people play it and them ultimately dying, because if they survive your base, then you lose some mineral stuff that you're collecting. But if you just keep killing people, then you get a lot of money and resources to then make your base better or build another base and just keep. And it's just this like kind of cycle of this. It's this kind of cool single player build your base, and then you put it out into the world and hope you kill people. And there's
Yeah.
something very rewarding, I find. And then you can watch people once you go away, and the next day you come and it's like, oh man, my base killed like 20 people, and then you can watch each of their run throughs. I think it's just very kind of cool concept of like watching their run throughs and see what kills them, what doesn't kill them, and then you like take that information and you're like, oh, maybe I should change this in the base. So I just really fell in love with that kind of being able to iterate on a level. Like it's like if you're into game design, I think it'd be a really awesome game to get into and like learn like, how, cuz you learn how certain gamers will like, you see how a meta will be created and then how they use that meta through the levels, and then you want to like somehow break it so like they don't do that or they can't do that. Or then there'll be a meta in the way that levels are designed, and then you hate that, or it's very interesting. I found it all very interesting. I played it. I think I put it on around 60 hours. I almost platinumed it. I just never got the. There is an actual multiplayer aspect where we can, two people can play together and run through levels together. Those trophies are the only trophies I never got. But super fun game. Really enjoyed it, and it's kind of sad because it just really kind of went dark. Like it's just one of those games. It's like really I think cool and inventive, but I don't know how many people. I should go back to it and see if people are still playing it. I'm sure there are some. They've released some DLC that I want to pick up, but it's really just cosmetic stuff to like build new traps and stuff. But super fun game. Really enjoyed it. So that's my number 3 game of the year.
Yeah, it was fun.
All right, Jared, what's your number 2?
Hi-Fi Rush.
Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah, that game is something else. I haven't played anything like that. Like, I mean, I've played games that are, action-based games with platforming. I have, but I've never played one that it doesn't require you to be on beat with everything, but the whole world is represented being in sync with itself, and you're rewarded with attacking and doing all your moves with the beat of the environment and the music and all that. And there's a lot of cues that make it like super interesting. And the soundtrack's really good. I actually heard they actually you can turn the streaming mode on and it will turn off all the the trademarked music.
Right.
And I've heard that soundtrack is amazing too. So I want to re-download it and play through it without the expensive music. But I loved the story. All the characters were super well done. The art style and direction of that is amazing. I can't point out one bad thing about the game because like the sound design is so good where you just know the sounds and how to react to the sounds. Like later in the game, there's like deflecting, like dodging laser beams and stuff like that, and you know exactly when and how to dodge just by listening to the soundtrack of what's going on because everything just works so well. And they really just knocked it out of the park with Hi-Fi Rush.
It's funny too because that that studio was like kind of working on this game just like in the background, and like they were, Ghostwire Tokyo was their other game that had come out that year, and they were supporting, and that game just kind of bombed, and then this game just kind of shadow dropped for Game Pass, and it just became this like big hit, just like
Yeah, they've only done like dark
yeah,
games like
Evil
Ghostwire
Within.
Tokyo and stuff like that. Yeah, Evil Within, and this guy, the lead character is super like hyped up. He's kind of a dummy, but he's a great character, really well written. Everything's awesome, and it's like the complete opposite of what they're known for. And it probably did way better than a lot of their games
Right.
that they've ever done.
I
And
wonder
it's
how that'll
so
change like
wild.
the climate or culture of their studio, like if that's a
Yeah,
move they
who
will go into.
knows?
It's just very interesting. It's very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what that studio does in the future just because of that. Yeah, the Hi-Fi Rush 2,
Another one of those games
please.
I'd be happy to play once I install this
Yes, you,
Game
you
Pass.
need to. I think you would absolutely love it.
All right. My number 2 is no secret. There's like all these. I think my number 3 might have been kind of a secret. I was like, oh yeah, that. Yeah, but my 2 and 1 are pretty simple. My number 2,
Yeah,
I am
they're
giving
those.
it to Cyberpunk 2077, Phantom Liberty.
Mhm.
Uh, the I mean, ultimately, for the DLC that came out this year, obviously the game came out in like 2020, but the DLC, like, I really loved, and the ending had a profound effect on me. And with the updates to the game just plays so much better. And I just what a turnaround! But just with just the just that DLC, just the story, the acting, uh,
I
I
I
love
still
it. I
can't
love it.
believe you're still playing on a 1080p TV.
Oh yeah, let it
Like that
go.
game is
Let it go.
so gorgeous,
I know.
man.
Someday
Oh,
I will
yeah.
stop being a luddite. Listen, that's
Mm,
just my eyes are
yeah.
old. I
Yeah.
don't need all the pixels. I don't need all the
Yeah.
P's.
Of course. Yeah, I
uh,
got you. But yeah, I'm glad that you really liked that. That was great. You even posted a video today on your
yeah.
playing of Cyberpunk.
This was this that yeah. That one actually you don't need the DLC for. That's just part of the newest update. They
Yeah.
dropped that thing in there. So yeah, if you're looking for some fun, there's a bunch of new weapons they added. They've added a bunch. Oh, and they also added like if you have a relationship character, they'll come to your apartment now, and you can hang out with them and
Oh,
dance with them and take a shower with them.
oh
Good
my.
times. But yeah, man,
Okay.
Cyberpunk, man, man, right now it's actually sad that there's not going to be more DLC. I get that they're moving on to the next Witcher game, and then we'll get a new Cyberpunk game in the future. But it's like, oh man, this game is at a perfect spot. But I guess maybe I'll mod it. Maybe I'll get
Hmm.
it, pick it up, and
Yeah, maybe.
maybe the modders will create some new content. Anyway, all right,
Probably.
that's my number 2. So this is the big showdown. It's the big what are our 2 games of the year basically. Because Jarrod and I, if you'll notice, did not play anything that's the same.
No. No, nothing. It's funny.
uh,
There's just so many games.
so
What
many
a great
games.
year. It's so crazy how many good games. Like everything on this list is like top tier. I mean, a lot of people love this stuff. Maybe the honorable mentions, it's maybe on some people's lists, but
Right.
nothing like huge. But
Well, these are going
um,
to be the couch co-op. These 2 games will be the couch co-op games of the year. So, Jarrod, what is your first? What is your game of the year pick?
well, I need to get my disc back so I can buy the DLC for Final Fantasy 16. I need to make it down to your place or something like that. But yeah, Final Fantasy 16. I've always been a glutton for more Final Fantasy games, and yeah, and 16 did it for me. I really enjoyed the lead character. Uh, is the voice acting is super good in the game. They did a really good job. I uh, played every single side quest, which I mean they're fine. Some of them actually really add to the story, and some of them are just kind of a waste of time, like most RPGs. Uh, but yeah, like traversing the environments is a lot of fun. You can summon the chocobos, but you only get a chocobo if you do one of the side quests. So don't forget to do the side quest. I mean, I don't even think they guide you like, oh yeah, if you want different transportation, you need to go do this mission. It's just a quest line that you get. So I found that pretty interesting because I'm always digging through all the side quests before I progress the story, so I wasn't gonna miss it anyways. But I'm sure there's a lot of people that just kind of darted through. I'd still want to do. They have a new game plus mode where they change the enemies that pop up and their frequency and what type of enemies show up in different locations, and I think that would be fun. Um, yeah,
Also, supposedly some of
yeah.
the best music in a while.
Oh, it's wonderful. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of that choir, dark voice kind of stuff. A lot of the really hardcore. I don't even know if there's a genre for that.
Choral,
Metal choir,
metal choir, metal choral music.
metal choral. But yeah, I love that stuff, and I was one of the people that loved Final Fantasy 15 a lot too. A lot of people were hating on that game, but I love the hell out of that. I got the platinum in that one.
I feel like
Maybe someday
16.
I'll do that at
I
16.
feel like 16 was way more positive though this year, like
Oh
that
yeah,
than
well,
15.
people
15
were way
was
more positive on it.
yeah. I think they also kind of liked the move to a way more kind of action uh, game.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
that
totally.
I think that's why Dave wants to play it. But
Well, Final Fantasy 15 did that, and I
it
think
did.
the people that love the turn-based stuff were put off with that, and then 16 came out and just they made the battle system better with more variety of attacks and combos and things like that. So they must have been on board with that, as old school Final Fantasy fans. I like a long time ago, I was playing like all the turn-based games and all that stuff. Like back in PS1, PS2, even 3, I was playing turn-based combat. And by the time PS4 came around, I got really tired of turn-based stuff and I wanted more action stuff. And I still do. Like I want to go back and play like the pixel remasters of Final Fantasy. But I think there's mods that make it a little better. So I will activate those absolutely.
Hmm.
Because yeah, I'm just kind of tired of turn-based stuff. You've even recommended games to me that are turn-based, and I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Well,
But
you bring it, and that's such a good segue because oh my, how the tables have turned, Jared. Because
yeah,
my number one game is in fact turn based.
yep,
Uh,
it is.
from a guy who doesn't really care for that genre, but that's not what I guess I do like that genre just when it's done well and it's paced correctly and it. But as many people, I'm the more kind of like, oh yeah, that's on everyone's list. But yes, my game of the year pick is Baldur's Gate 3. 90 hours in this game. I still haven't beat it. Come on. I can tell that it's a great
That's at
game.
least 15 hours of just wandering around naked,
That's at least 15
just
hours of
just looking as
no. That's at
character.
least 15 hours of just like save scumming. No.
Oh yeah, that doesn't count all the saves
Yeah, it
coming, so
doesn't
that's
count all that. I don't even
more
know
time.
how much actual time I put into the game.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
I'm sure PlayStation would say exactly how many hours it thinks you've been on it.
oh. But
But probably a lot.
what a what an awesome game. I just there's just things I've never kind of experienced in video games, or like the freedom in video games that this game kind of provides. And I've talked a lot about this in other episodes, but I think the character acting is awesome. The music is great. I think it controls really well on the controller. I know it's considered a computer RPG, but I think the zooming into kind of a third person and running around the world, and then when you go tactical into like turn based, it does it. I don't have to play an isometric all the time. I can just kind of run around and fuck around and loot shit
Hmm.
uh, and then when I get into battles, obviously I want to blow out to see what's going on and kind of figure stuff out. But I find it
I
all.
really enjoyed the demo I played.
Yeah, I think. I mean, hopefully I beat it, and then I'd love to play through it again. Just different character, different choices. I can only imagine there's like so much of the game I'm missing from playing from a different perspective. Uh, I'm just kind of blown away, and uh, it was one of those games I took a chance on. Like last year's game of the year was Elden Ring. I took a chance on that because I'm not a Souls player.
Hmm.
Really love that game, And then this year it's like, man, this game's gotten a lot of hype. I just fuck it, let's try it. And then you fall in love with it. When you're willing to like kind of like, oh, let's give it a chance. Because like there's
Yeah,
definitely games I've given chances to, and I'm like, no.
I'm glad you're trying new things instead of just sticking to the same old, and getting bored and just not wanting to do it anymore.
Right.
Because that's what can happen. But trying new things like that's what gaming's about. Not just sitting on one game and being happy with that. That is for some people,
Right.
but I don't know. Like our group, we like to kind of switch it up, and I'm glad that you've really just been switching it up a lot lately and trying different genres and trying things you didn't think you'd like but ended up really falling in love with. Even just an example like Street Fighter 6,
Oh yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
there's not you don't always buy fighting games like on launch. It's pretty rare.
Oh, for sure.
There's certain ones
Unless
that
it's
you
like
do.
Soul Calibur, sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy Soul Calibur
Yeah.
because I love Soul Calibur. But like
Hmm.
Street Fighter, I'm just not a Street Fighter guy. Come on.
Yeah.
And it's like Baldur's. I've never played a Baldur's Gate game, but it's not important. You don't really need to know anything about the other two Baldur's. There's some characters that obviously are from Baldur's Gate 1 or 2 or whatever, and they kind of talk about, oh, you were in this battle, blah blah blah. That obviously has something to do with that, but it
Hmm.
doesn't matter. I'm new to it. I do really like how like D&D it is with the dice rolls and stuff. That's fun. I don't know. I find all that stuff kind of fun and fascinating. Uh, yeah.
Yeah, those dice rolls are pretty satisfying. Even when you fail them, it's just like, oh, okay.
And then you, and like and
Next
then
time.
how you're certain like because you were early on in the game. As you get further along in the game, you get like buffs and stuff, and so it'll add like an extra roll or it'll up the percentage or something. So you get all
Okay,
these kind
fun.
of like different. So like it increases your chances of the roll. So it's I find that all fascinating and fun. It's very very D&D.
Hmm.
But anyway, really like the game, and uh, uh, that's my number. That's my game of the year.
Right?
There it is. We did it, Jared.
Yeah.
Okay, you
That's
wanted.
a lot of games that came
It
out
is a
this
lot of
year. I mean,
games.
that's
And it's also
that's
funny.
what
None of the
yeah.
games we played. I've played none of
That
your
was
games.
18 from both of us. I
I
mean,
mean, you
that's
you played a demo of
or no, I
Baldur's
guess just
Gate.
9 from each of us, huh? 18 total games.
18 total games.
Yeah. I was thinking of my other list.
Yeah, we've tried some of these games on each other's lists, but
Yeah.
well,
But
most of your
there's still
games.
a lot of games I want to play from 2023. I mean,
Yeah,
I mentioned Diablo 4, Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. I do want to try someday. That's just a small little bite of some of the games I want to
yeah.
try, but
I
so
want to
much
do
more.
Diablo 4. I want to Mortal Kombat 1. I want to play Starfield,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat 1 looks really good.
So it's just there's too many games, Jared. There's just too many
Yeah.
fucking games. Oh, you know what? I
Yeah.
want to play. I want to play the Armored Core game. I was
Oh,
not.
yeah, me
I
too.
wasn't ever gonna. But I want to play that.
Yeah.
It's just like there's just too much shit.
Hmm.
Too much. Too much.
Yeah.
Too much. Too much. Well, I guess that's it. We did an episode.
Yeah.
That's our game of the year episode, and that's our kind of our end of the year episode for 2023. When the group reconvenes, it'll be in 2024, and I'm thinking I like the idea of New Year's gaming resolutions.
Oh, jeez.
I like the idea of like, what are you going to do next year? I'm gonna buy even less video games.
Yeah, I don't know if that's possible.
Maybe beat more games, beat less games.
Maybe beat more of the games I've bought.
Anyway, I think that'd be kind of a funny episode. But hopefully everyone will be a part of that. But yeah, we're gonna go off on our Christmas holiday. Well, Jared still has to work a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, of course I have to work.
Which means you probably have to go to bed because you have to get up early, I imagine.
Well, yeah, eventually. Yeah.
Eventually.
I
But
should probably go to bed earlier than I do. But I don't.
but yeah, that's it. That's our game of the year episode. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. I want to thank everyone for listening and for supporting us. And we hope you all have a happy holiday and a happy new year. Hope you get lots of cool video games for Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. Or at least gift cards to wherever sells video games that you want to go buy.
Did you ask for any games for Christmas?
Yeah, I did. Diablo 4.
Oh, I didn't even think
So
about
I
that.
might get that.
That's cool. All right. Sweet. Well, Jared, do you have
Yeah.
anything you want to say to the group, the fans, the listeners?
Well, I'm happy that you're there. It'd be nice to hear from somebody someday. We don't get lots of interactions or anything like that, but that's okay. We mostly do this for hanging out and having a good time. So I'm glad that I hope that you at least enjoy it. Our ramblings
Our
and
ramblings.
nonsensical mess that we do sometimes, and stick with us
Yeah,
because we've been at it for a couple minutes.
we're gonna keep doing it. until someone probably drops dead, and then who knows?
Yeah.
Anyway, I want to thank you all for listening and remind you to leave feedback at thecouchcoopshow@gmail.com or find us on our socials at Couch Co-op Shows, all one word, no hyphen. I want to thank Jarrod for joining me here on the couch for Couch
Yeah.
Co-op. I'm Ian, reminding you to please be excellent to each other.
Wild stallions.
Couch Co-op is full of douchebags. Couch Co-op.